Hello, hello, welcome back to Talkin' Tunes, and today we are taking a look at the 18 tunes on Shinedown's latest release, 8, stylized with the number 8 where the G should be. Yeah, not a creative title. I guess it's more creative than calling it just Shinedown, but I don't know. That wouldn't be a great title for it either, because let me tell you right now, most of this doesn't really sound a whole lot like Shinedown. And that all starts with the opener. That's not a good indication. Song number 1 at the bottom, it's, a piano and Brent Smith, who's the lead singer, intro. It feels like the intro feels like a bad Broadway opener, so most Broadway openers. After the intro, it's not bad. It's not bad. It does feel like I wrote "Calling All Stations." I think I meant "Planet Zero." Yeah, "Calling All Stations." Different band. 20 years, 30 years difference. So I think I meant to write Planet Zero follow-up. However, it's mastered way too loud, like it's 2010. Saying dates that are 10 to 15 years out of date is going to become a running theme for this video. But fortunately, song number 2, Dance Kid Dance, is not one of those cases. It does sound modern. It is much more Shinedown than the opener. It's about social anxiety and Gen Z. I'm not a fan of, the breakdown in between, the choruses and the verses. It goes like a dunno, wunno, wunno, dun dunno, bunno, wunno, wunno, dun dunno, but it's it sounds like it could be cool, but it's not. There's a very meh solo. The lyrics are great. Unfortunately, it does go about 10 seconds longer than it needs to. And I know that's not, much of a complaint, but some of these songs don't need to exist. This is when I had hope. Because I listened to this album when it came out, shortly after it came out. I think it was, the day after, because this just came out this year. I think it was March or April, maybe May, I think. But I've listened to this once before, so, and I'd basically forgotten everything, if that tells you anything. So, yeah. Song number 3, Burning Down the Disco. This, it starts up, I'm like, hello, 2018. It's not awful, but I do want my 3 minutes back. It's 2 minutes 51, so I was rounding up, so not quite 3 minutes, but it's pretty much just chorus. This is one of the singles, or was one of the singles. So was Dance Kid Dance. I think Dance Kid Dance was the first single, and Burning Down the Disco might have been the 4th? I don't know. Song number 4, 365. This was the second single, I'm pretty sure. This is our first calm Shinedown song here. The album is feeling a bit front-loaded with the singles because we just had Dance Kid Dance, Burning Down the Disco, and 365 all in a row. And it's basically, just a lot can happen in a year. So far, at this point in the album, I was just like, alright, this is pretty decent so far. It's not going to keep up. It's just going to slowly get worse as we go on. Song number 5, Young Again. I think this is the single they just finished playing the Christ out of, or just finishing promoting the Christ out of. This is our first actual intro so far that doesn't go for it doesn't it's the first one that's beyond 10 seconds long for an intro. It is an ode to Gen X nostalgia with a modern sound that clashes with the lyrical themes. And some people would say, well, that's not necessarily a good criticism. 1985 by Bowling for Soup, that sounded modern at the time, and that was about, 1985. The difference is that song's legit great, and this is just here. It just simply exists. It's not good. It's not bad. I wouldn't even call it mid. It just simply exists. um, it's, weren't the 80s great? Now we're old and it sucks. That pretty much sums up Young Again. Song number 6, Dizzy. This one's pretty shit. Brent's singing on this one, where I was just like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, it's not outright awful singing, but it's like, he's singing in a way that's not normal for him. Like, he's singing in a way that could work if it wasn't, I don't know how to describe it. It's the Shinedown Token Love Song. It's this album's Token Shinedown Love Song. It sounds like that shit that followed, like the stomp clap / recession pop shit. You know what I'm like, it's like right after that era. It sounds like something that would come out in like 2015, and that's not a good thing when we're in 2026, and music in 2015 sucked anyway, and I hated that shit at the time. I was 11. Alright, yeah. Imposter, it's our first F-bomb of the album. Another song says fuck around and find out at some point. But song number 7 is called Imposter. It's about either imposter syndrome or depression or drugs. It doesn't sound shit like Shinedown. It's yet more filler, like Dizzy, like kind of like Young Again. It does sound like it samples like an old demo at one point, but I doubt it. It sounds like it might sample something from the early days of the band, because it like does like that radio recording thing, if you know what I mean. But I don't think that's what it's implying. Maybe it is. Maybe it is a similar trick to what David Gilmour did on one of the songs on his recent album. I don't remember. And Brent Smith's a Floyd fan, so like I wouldn't be surprised if he was inspired by that. But I don't know. We're flipping the page over, and we are 8 songs in. We got fucking 10 to go after this one. Machine Gun. It's not a Jimi Hendrix cover. Holy shit, this is classic Shinedown. Sounds much more like what I'd expect from a modern Shinedown to be. But unfortunately, that's all the more I have to say. But after, what was that? Like 1, 2, 3 pretty middling to shit songs in a row. Something that's actually good shows up. But even right now, I'm having difficulty remembering it, and I just finished the album. It feels like I listened to this song like 45 minutes ago. It feels like I moved on to do different shit. It feels like a song that you hear on the radio exactly once, and then you get out of the car and you never hear it again. Do you understand what I mean by that? I hope you do. Song number 9, Outlaw. The intro reminds me of Crow and the Butterfly. It still sounds more like classic Shinedown, but it's still produced poorly. That's another problem with this album. Let me check to make sure that I'm actually recording from the... Yep, okay. Oh, Christ, we're already like 9 minutes in. Oh, boy. But it's... Outlaw, it reminds me of Crow and the Butterfly. Sounds more like classic Shinedown, but it's still produced poorly. That's another problem with this album. I think the last 3 Shinedown albums, including this one, maybe Threat to Survival. At least the last 3 Shinedown albums have been self-produced, and when I say self-produced, mostly produced by bassist Eric Bass, who next month we're actually going to be looking at, like, he's the first member of Shinedown to produce a solo album. Well, maybe Smith and Myers count, but that's not solo, that's duo. Anyway, but we're actually looking at one of his albums, at his first solo album next month. I think it's the first Shinedown solo album. Which, 20 years in, not bad. That's pretty average, I think, for bands. But I feel like this album could have been vastly improved if they had an outside producer. Song number 10, Safe and Sound. Holy fucking actual guitar riff. Sounds right out of 2007. This sounds like prime Shinedown. This sounds like something they would make like right before or right after Sound of Madness, until the chorus kicks in. But apart from the chorus, this song is legit great. It has an actual solo, and it is all around great. It is genuinely great. And it's another single. I think this is the single they're promoting right now. Song number 11, Searchlight, which is also a solo. It's an acoustic song. There's banjos here. It's very blatantly trying to get country crossover hit, which is, not the worst thing in the world, but it's still blatantly transparent, and I really don't like the fact that they're doing that, because Shinedown can do country without trying, and they try entirely too hard to do modern country here, and it's not good. I think Crow and the Butterfly from Sound of Madness might have been a crossover country hit. I don't know. But that's a sound they can do, and they're trying too hard here, and I don't like it. Song number 12, Barrel It With Me. Why is Shinedown trying to be Limp Bizkit? Why is Brent Smith saying bollocks? It is patently shit. Why was this made? Why does it sample Dysfunctional You? I'm pretty sure it samples Dysfunctional You. Like Dysfunctional You has this part where it goes, nah, and I'm pretty sure they sample that or just do something incredibly similar. It's not a good song. This is the one where I'm like, this shouldn't exist in any form. It's just dog shit. Song number 13, Deep End. The intro is ass. Why do the lyrics reference fucking Voodoo Child? Which is a much better song by either Hendrix or Stevie Ray Vaughan. I don't need to listen to this song again. And then we have the final good song on the album. Unfortunately, it does not end here. If it did end here, I still don't think I would recommend this album, but I'd be a little bit more favorable to it. But no, there's fucking 3 more songs after this. But at the very least, song number 14, Killing Fields. This was like the 3rd single. This was the first single I heard, and it gave me hope. Unfortunately, it was, misguided hope, because I thought they were going to continue sonically with what they were doing with Planet Zero. Because Planet Zero is a fucking great album, both sonically and lyrically. And I'm not just saying that because it's a concept album. It's a great album. I reviewed it. I will link it in the description down below. But Killing Fields, this is the best song on the album. It has build-up. It has release. It's produced well. It sounds like Shinedown. The riff between the chorus and the verses reminds me of Yes's Heart of the Sunrise, weirdly enough. This should have been like the last or second to last song. Like, it is brilliantly made, and it's like the last time you get enjoyment out of this album, which, when you have, 15, 16, when you have 4 songs to go, is not... It's not a good thing for your last good song to have 4 bad ones that follow it. Song number 15, Back to Living. It kind of melodically sounds like Behind Blue Eyes by The Who. I'd much rather listen to that. I like The Who. I legit love The Who. I love that album. Is this their take on Behind Blue Eyes? I was about done, and it was at this point where I was just like, yeah, they needed a producer. And hopefully for the next one they do get a producer, because like the last two Shinedown related releases, Eric Bass's solo album, which I'm having trouble remembering. I remember it's a concept album, and I'm remembering the tune of one of the songs, but yeah, I'm forgetting the title of Eric Bass's solo album right now. But yeah, that and this are just not produced great. It's not great. It's just they need a producer for the next one. Unfortunately, and hopefully it's a good one. Maybe they would work with Steven Wilson. I want to hear a Steven Wilson Shinedown album. That would be cool. Maybe they'll turn into a prog band. They're not going to turn into a prog band. I want to hear Shinedown do prog, though. That would be cool as fuck as well. Song number 16, Wide Open. Sounds like the end credits song of a middling animated movie from like 2014. Why does this album consistently sound 10 to 15 years out of date? Song number 17, So Glad You Ask. It could be good if it didn't sound like it was from 2016. Lyrically, it's there. Sonically, it shit the bed. It's our second to last song, and you just want to be done at this point, or you're longing for something good. And lyrically, So Glad You Asked is great. Lyrically, it's classic Shinedown. Sonically, it's bad. It's bad. It is just bad. And then song number 18, the final song on the album, The Pilot. It's another acoustic intro. We're back to 2014. Again, why does most of this album sound 15 years out of date? Why is it produced so poorly? And why is it so goddamn loud? That is a key problem with this album. So yeah, a good 2/3 of that doesn't really need to exist. Killing Fields is awesome. The first song isn't bad. It's unfortunately just incredibly mid to bad, for the most part. With, like 4 or 5 good songs on there. But 5 good songs out of 18, that is less than a third. Less than a third. And also, this album, it is an hour and 4 minutes long. I have heard albums that are an hour and 15 minutes that feel like they take less time to get through than this. One of my favorite albums, Pink Floyd, The Division Bell, 1994, is an hour and 6 minutes, which a 2-minute difference is negligible. That album does not feel like it is an hour and 6 minutes. This album is an hour and 4 minutes, and it feels like it's 2 hours. That's not a good thing. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's just not great. Dance Kid Dance is pretty good. Killing Fields is brilliant. That goes on a Shinedown Best Of compilation if they ever release one of those. That's a good song. Those are the 2 best ones, I guess. Yeah, what are the other ones I enjoyed? Hold on. Give me a minute. I can't just recommend you 2. At the bottom, the opener is great. 365 is halfway decent. Young Again is listenable. I think that's about it. Oh, Machine Gun. Machine Gun's pretty good. So I recommend Machine Gun by Jimi Hendrix. No, but you can listen to that one too. You can listen to Machine Gun by Shinedown as well. So, yeah, not gonna recommend you buy it. Not gonna recommend that you listen to it the whole way through. But it's not completely unsalvageable. It's not a complete waste of time. It's just 2/3 of a waste of time, and I'm probably not gonna listen to most of it again. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. I think Shinedown is my favorite. Shinedown is my favorite modern band. Nickelback has an album coming out next month, so we'll see how we'll see how that turns out. I don't have huge hopes for that one after Get Rollin'. Get Rollin' wasn't great, but this is a video about Shinedown. So yeah, very disappointing follow-up to Planet Zero. Yep. Thank you all very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. If you have something to add, please feel free to do so in the comment section down below. If you want to continue along this musical journey with me, please feel free to subscribe. If you want to hear me talk about something other than music, I have a podcast with two of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. I will leave a link to that in the description down below. And if you want to hear what I happen to be listening to that day, you can follow me on Instagram. I will leave a link to that in the description down below. I post a song on my story there every single day. And with that, I would like to remind you all to stay weird and keep jamming. See you in Concept Timber. Take care.